Young and A sent a message about his friend who is now going through a murder trial. Young and A says, I know so much time been taken from y'all. I've been trying everything I can for y'all, even when I fall short. I know I have, I ain't been the best, but ain't none I won't do for y'all. Praying for y'all overcome this. I know y'all will. I trust. Know it feel like y'all fighting alone, but the whole world behind y'all, praying for y'all, making it through. Free the innocent. Queso and this other guy, y'all are the strongest. So I'm guessing these are the two. So I guess it was 3 people who did the murder. These 2 didn't tell. The other nigga's telling like a motherfucker, right? Wait, he's on trial for 2 murders? Oh my God, that's bad. All right, let's see, chat. Let's see. Where's the father? Okay, here we go.
And implicate your 2 sons would have got you out of custody.
You say implicate them?
You had to point at your sons. Let's back.
Yes.
But he didn't take you along.
No, he already had a manager.
And then your son gets signed in 2019, right?
Right.
He's off in California shooting a music video in December, right?
I can't remember.
He didn't bring you along either.
That ain't true, man. That's not true.
He did not agree to let you manage his career. Or is your testimony that he did? He wanted you to manage it?
Of course.
Of course not. He didn't want you to manage it?
Of course, he did.
Yet you weren't with him on any of those trips, right?
I was with him on a lot of trips.
You have no credits on any of his songs?
No, I don't want no credits on his song.
And Johnny Shipes is the one that is in the records as his manager, right?
I would assume.
So let's now talk about the day before the murder. That white car that you already let us know, you drove that white car over to the JSO property facility, right?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Now let's talk about the motive of others. Your testimony is that Hakeem Robinson, who was not shot, who is not biologically tied to Willie Addison like you, that somehow he had more motive than the other people that were actually shot. Right?
Say that again.
We're talking about the people that would have had a motive to be upset at Charles McCormick. Okay?
Right.
All right. You, Butter and Brown, Blue Butter Brown, I'm going to trip over that if I say it fast. The whole thing about P Money was because you believe that he was behind Willie's murder, right?
Right.
Okay. So now Charles McCormick comes along and he's putting out a song. He's not signed to a record deal, right?
Right.
His song isn't getting any traction.
Right.
He's nowhere near the level of Queso, Hakeem Robinson, right?
Correct.
But your testimony is that that was a motive enough for murder. That's your testimony, right?
It's this song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's a whole list of people that would be way above him to have the motive to kill Charles McCormick, right?
Right.
You?
No.
No?
No.
You'd have no motive to kill a guy who's basically laughing about the night that you were shot.
I mean, not me. You ain't killing pro se myself?
Look, all I know is this. I'll put this in a question. You claim that the phone that's used by the shooter, that's registered in your name, right? Oh, excuse me, Darrell Watts. Right?
Right.
And we'll get to that. You allegedly burn the clothes that Butter had on him, right?
Correct.
You break through the police perimeter to pick up Leroy Whitaker. in Barner, right?
Come on, man. You exaggerating, man. You know it wasn't no police perimeter, none of that. You exaggerating now.
I'm exaggerating that there wasn't drones and helicopters overhead?
How would I know that?
Because you were driving to the location?
And I would see a drone in the air?
So we'll agree. All right, let's say the JSO, we'll let JSO answer the question whether they had a perimeter and they had hundreds of officers trying to find the shooter that was running through neighborhoods.
You really think I would have went through there if I seen all those police and all that? Or a drone and a helicopter and all that? You think I would have went up in there with my car registered in my name?
You don't want me to answer that question. So why don't you stick to answering my questions and not asking me them?
Ooh.
It's a life you live, right? You live this life in the streets, right?
Nah.
Or wait, are you telling me that you as the patriarch of the family, that basically these kids come by and say, hey, Blue, go do this?
They didn't call Leroy Whitaker daddy to go get it. They called me. They did. What if they would have called some? I would like to see how they would feel if they would have called somebody else to go pick somebody up. They didn't. They called me. If I would have knew something was going on, I wouldn't have never went.
All right.
Think I'm gonna go over there in my car with my phone and knowing something going on? I would like to been. If I would like to been involved in a crime, I'd like to know that I'm involved in a crime. Let me know that. Okay, it's a crime happening now. Let me know something. I was in the blind.
So you're a victim in this case, right?
I ain't gonna say I'm a victim, but I would like to know that I'm being involved in something and just ask for a ride.
All right, so then after you know about it, you're then cool with going to burn clothes.
So his idea is that, oh, my son didn't tell me he was going to clap a nigga. He kind of just made it seem like I was just picking him up. But you hear the defense attorney. Well, I think it's the defense attorney for I think this is a defense attorney, or maybe it's a prosecutor. They're saying, well, why are you? If you weren't an accessory and you weren't a part of this crime, why were you cool to go destroy evidence?
Right?
Yeah, after I get to know about it, I was cool with that.
Yeah, what's a little bit.
Which, by the way, the reason why he would say this is he got a plea. He's going to plead guilty to accessory after the fact, but because of his cooperation, he's basically going to get out of jail like immediately.
Of a felony, destruction of evidence.
Yeah, I did it. I like Scotty. I did.
Definitely know you didn't call 911.
Right.
That conscience only grew later when you were looking at life.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about Darrell Watts. There's a bunch of cell phones that are in the name of Darrell Watts, right?
Correct.
And the phone that was used. Now, it's interesting. The government, they asked you about a bunch of phone numbers, and you remembered it off.
Oh, this is either Queso's attorney or the other guy's attorney. Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, I don't think this is Queso's attorney. Queso's attorney is like the one that sounds Caribbean. It's a woman. So this is the other guy's attorney.
Top of your head, right?
Yeah.
But the one that they had to tell you was 478-305-9583.
Objection, Judge.
What's the grounds?
The misstatement.
Okay. I will, of course, the jury will recall the testimony that came out from the witness stand, if you'll just ask the question of the witness.
You were asked about a bunch of phone numbers, and you were able to recite them, except for one that they told you, and you just agreed, yes. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's 478-305-9583, right?
Right.
Now, that phone's under your dead friend's name, Darrell Watts, right?
Right.
You paid for that phone, right?
Correct.
And in December, you paid something like $1,000 that you owed on that phone and others.
Right.
So whoever it is that had that phone, the shooter, you supplied it to him.
Oh, I didn't know the shooter had the phone. I didn't know. I mean.
So, Darrell Watts was your best friend, right?
Yeah.
He was murdered.
Yeah.
To this day, you are not cleared as a suspect in that case.
Objection, Judge.
Sustained. Mr. DeCoste, just ask questions, please, that are relevant.
An arrest has not been made in the murder of Darrell Watts.
Objection, Judge.
Sustained.
No.
This dad ain't stupid, man. Trust me. He's not stupid. I'm watching him. He ain't stupid up there.
Not true, or you're saying it's not, or you're saying you do want your other son to be convicted?
Ooh.
No, I'm not saying I don't.
Here we go.
I mean, if correct.
Here we go.
So, your other son, Abdul Jr., he's not here right now, right?
Correct.
Your hope, something that has been discussed, you're hoping that in exchange for your testimony here today, that his case would be dropped. Right?
No.
You're not hoping for that?
I mean, if it do, it's good. I mean, but I ain't. I mean, I can't say that.
So you're saying that that's not true, or you're saying it's not, or you're saying you do want your other son to be convicted?
No, I'm not saying I want him to be convicted. I'm not saying that I want him to be convicted. If they drop his case because of what I'm doing, great.
As long as you're protected, that's the most important.
So it looks like 2 of his sons were charged, and they're trying to see, like, are you trying to say Queso is the bad apple? We got to sacrifice him, save me, and save my other son. Or what he's about to ask him now is, are you just in this for yourself? This is like an interesting thing, because this is a father with like 2 of his sons being accused.
Important thing for you, though.
When you say protected, what you mean?
The same thing that Ms. Schlax asked you. You said, well, you know, if they drop his, well, that would be great. But your number one priority.
Queso's name is Hakeem Robinson. Abdul is another son. I think it's Abdul Jr.
Out of all of this, is you.
I think I'm number 2.
Number 2.
Sir, you come in here as a 2-time convicted felon. Because of these other cases, you'll be convicted at least 2 more times, right?
Right. Correct.
A lifetime of crime, right?
Objection, Judge.
Sustained.
You'll be a 4-time convicted felon. You've already spent 10 years in prison and approximately 5 in custody on this.
Correct.
For a total of about 15 years in custody.
Correct. Let's not forget about the 10 years that I was out free and no trouble.
But then you got into trouble again.
Right. I was out free from 2009 to 2020, no trouble.
I understand, but coming in here today and going back to the question, your number one objective is protecting yourself.
Of course.
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Wow, that's a great drop mic thing. It's basically saying you're here to sacrifice both your sons as long as you are protected. If it wasn't a father-son thing or a father and 2 sons, it would look very different. It would look very different, but that's a great way to end it, to kind of show that he's going to say whatever up there to save his own ass, even if he gives up his kids. Wow. Yo, chat, this gotta be so tough. Like I know some of y'all like, yo, this guy's scum. He's testifying against his kids. Yo, this is crazy. This is a father testifying against his sons. Yeah, I'm wondering, they don't have like a camera on Queso, but I'm wondering if Queso's looking at his dad like just with tears in his eyes, like, yo, dad, how could you? Even if like, you know, maybe his dad's looking at him like, no, nigga, you're wrong. You shouldn't have did that. I never told you to do that. You want me to go to jail and go sit down for you doing some dumb shit? But I know his son got to be looking at him like, yo, it's one thing if my nigga did it. It's another thing if my daddy did it. Because most sons want to be like they pops. And he's probably looking at like, so the defendant's table is going to be over this side. I'm watching his eyes. He's not really looking over here that much, but I could be wrong. I'm wondering if he's having eye contact with his son. Damn.
Mr. Robinson, one more
He just
thing.
did. He just did. You see that? Look. Right there. Yeah, he's looking at his son right there. Damn, man. Yeah, he's looking at his son right there. That's a fact. You can see he's trying to keep forward eye contact. That's him and the person who's interrogating him. But damn, you could tell. I ain't gonna lie. When Queso go to his cell tonight, I know he heard that his dad was gonna do this. He crying. 100%. You gotta cry. That's your pops. Your pops stood up there and said, now granted, he can't say certain stuff, but like, your pops made like, yo, I'm just here for myself. Fuck it. Yeah, you see that look? Damn. Now he's back looking, damn.
Mr. Robinson, one more thing.
Somebody said that. They said you could tell his dad was an enabler to the street shit. Ain't that a bitch? It be like that, right? The nigga who probably like, he kind of gaslit you a little bit to get into that life. You get into that life, and that nigga telling on you, bro.
The deal with Cinematic, that occurred right in the months before this murder, right?
Yes.
Basically, right around December, they fly him out to California. He's shooting music videos, but it's right around that time that he inked that deal.
I'm not sure.
Yes, sir. Welcome to My Life Story 702. I go by Money Man. I want to say make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the love and support, man. Keep turning up with the channel, man. Keep engaging, man. I really do appreciate it. I got more videos coming soon, so stay tuned in for that. And let's get to the video. Yes, sir.